today we are going to be working with copper piping. I've seen some cute home decor made out of copper piping, and there's no refinishing needed. You don't need to paint over it. I mean, you could, but it just adds a great color to your room. And I have this area in my living room where I really want to put a ladder. So today we're going to be making a ladder and a magazine rack out of copper piping. So I'm super excited. I think it should be fairly simple, but who knows? Sticking all of these things together and making like a giant puzzle with these joints out of copper could be tricky. It shouldn't be, I imagine. So all of the copper supplies that you need for this project, I picked up from my local home improvement store. I walked around the entire store to realize that it was in the plumbing section. Duh. So, insider tip, go to the plumbing section and get the copper piping. This is a 3/4 inch thick pipe, and then all of the joints fit that 3/4 inch. You'll see when you go to the store that they have lots of different sizes. So they have like 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and up, and then all of the joints come in different sizes as well to fit that size pipe. These are called T-slips. Be careful with this size because sometimes you can see that there's 3 holes, so 2 for the sides and then 1 in the center. This one in particular can sometimes come with a different size middle hole, so be sure that you are getting the right one, and be sure that sometimes in the home improvement stores things get moved around and different sizes get put in the same bins. Just make sure before you leave the store that you actually have the size that you need, because nothing's worse than getting home with all of your supplies and then it being wrong and having to go back. So what you're gonna need to make both the ladder and the magazine rack is your 3/4 inch diameter piping, and it comes in different lengths. I bought the 10-foot and I measured out exactly how much I'm going to need for each of these projects, and I determined that I was gonna need 3 10-foot poles. So I have 2 more sitting over there, and they were hard to get in my house. So watch your walls, watch your corners, watch your dog. So if you're making the ladder, you're gonna need not only your piping, but also this T-slip to make the ladders, railings that go across and then stick on the side as well. And you're also going to need to cap off your ends so it doesn't scratch up your floor and just in general. So we need 4 end caps, 2 for the top and 2 for the bottom, and then 6 T-slips in order to make 3 different rungs of the ladder. If you're making your magazine rack, the only joint that you're gonna need for that are these elbow joints, and it helps you make curves. So we're kind of going to be making like a little up and down and over, and it, you know, I'll show you a picture. So since the piping comes in 10-foot long, you're gonna need to cut it. So for the ladder, we're gonna be cutting the pieces of piping into 1.5-foot long pieces. I bought this mini tube cutter, and contrary to unsolicited advice in the home improvement store, because apparently I walk around with "help me" written on my forehead, they said that this could be really tricky and it might break. We're gonna give it a shot and see how it goes, right? Because this one was only about $10 and everything else was kind of more expensive. Since we're not really cutting that much, so I can't imagine that it's going to break, but it's not going to break. Let's put that out into the universe. So you're going to need something to cut your piping with, and then also you're gonna need something to measure out each piece of pipe. So you're gonna need a tape measure. First, we're gonna get started on the ladder because I just have a feeling that that's going to be easier to make, and Kinsley's going to help, but not in my lap. Let's get started on cutting our pipe for our ladder. Also, all of these pieces had stickers on it, which is super annoying because they're super sticky. So what you're gonna need to do is take the stickers off and then buy some Gooby Gone, and get all of the sticker residue off of it. I did not buy Gooby Gone, and I used a combination of Windex and nail polish remover, and it did not work. So go buy Gooby Gone and get all the stickers off. I still have a sticker here, but we'll worry about that later. We're going to be needing 11 1.5-foot long pieces. They make these things so hard to get into. Oh my God, really? Oh my God, it's tiny, it's so cute! This is gonna cut that pipe, I hope so. So we are going to mark off 1.5 feet 1.5 is 18 inches. Disclaimer, do not climb on this ladder. This is strictly for decor. I don't know how strong copper piping is. I imagine it's pretty strong. Don't climb on it. Right? You either. Don't climb on this ladder. It is not to support babies. Okay, so now that we have it marked, so it kind of has this like dial, so let's open it up all the way. So there's like a blade, and we're just gonna put it right into the blade and tighten it and turn. What? A few turns will cut through the pipe. Maybe a lot of turns? Oh my God, how many turns? I feel like that's the key. You need to tighten it as you go. We did it! Wow. Man, that scared the crap out of me. 1 down, 10 to go. I'm gonna cut the rest of these and I'll be right back. So that was fairly easy to cut. So the trick is to keep tightening this wheel as you go along to make it tighter, because as you cut, you're making the pull smaller and smaller until it cuts completely through. So just make sure you're turning it, make sure you're careful. It did not break. Ha! Let's start off with our top. So the top is going to need 2 of these end caps. Also, there's this ugly red writing on here, which is dumb. I get that this is industrial use and I get that it's supposed to be like for plumbing and underground. I'm gonna make sure that I'm applying these in a way that's going to put that towards the back of the ladder so that I don't see it from the front, because we're not gonna be recovering these at all. So I'm gonna take one of the end caps and put it on the end. That was so easy. Okay. Cool. Those 2 are for our top. And then we need to put it into a T-slip. So we're just gonna literally, I'm just gonna stick it in, making sure that that's at the back. This is so cool. Okay, and then I'm gonna make like a, sorry Kinsley. Okay, I'm gonna go sideways. Oh my God. Okay, and then the other one, oh no, wait. Then another T, like, making sure that, okay, wait. Maybe I should do this part first so I make sure it's flat. So making sure that it's towards the back. That one's a little tighter. And then I'm gonna lay it down on the flat surface to make sure that I'm putting it in. Ooh. Oh my God. Why is this is like a really simple project. This was not hard at all. So me thinking that it was going, you know, when you think something is going to be really easy and then it never works out that way, that kind of scares me. So, and just keep building your ladder. I'm just gonna put a dab of hot glue on like the inside, like right in the center ridge, and then kind of push the pipe through. So we did it, our ladder's done. So let's move on to our magazine rack. For this project, I went ahead and pre-cut all of my copper piping just to kind of get us going. If you want to make a magazine rack the same size that I'm doing it, you're going to need 6 pipes at 14 inches long, and these make up the top and the sides of the magazine rack. And then you're going to need 2 9-inch long pipes, and this creates the bottom and the connector between the 2 sides. And you're going to need 8 elbow elbow joints. They turn like this and they have 2 holes on each side. That's going to create the curved sides to the magazine rack. And you're going to need a piece of fabric, some canvas like I have here, or whatever you want your actual holder for your magazines to be inside. So it's going to attach to the top of each side of the magazine rack and then hang down like a U shape in between. And this is where we're actually going to put the magazines. So this will all make sense once we start building it. And let's get started. This one's going to be a little trickier than the ladder. Just going to throw that out there. So we just want to make sure that we're hiding any of this red writing too, because it's faint. You can't see it too much, but it's kind of ugly. So I think it's smart to start with our bottom pieces first so that we can kind of build up. I'm gonna take our 2 9-inch, so they're gonna be separated like that. And the next part, we're going to go upwards. Taking one of our 9-inch pieces and an elbow joint, we're going to be putting the elbow joint up, and then making sure that our red writing is down. And we're just gonna click it in like that, right? And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Making sure that they're kind of both pointing up, just like that, okay? So that's one, let's do the other side. So making sure that your red writing is down and your elbow is pointing up, okay? And then the same thing on the other side. Okay, so this is going to make our bottom. Okay, so now let's create our sides. Hi, baby. Let's put our red writing on towards the inside. So let's go straight. Okay, and then let's go ahead and do the opposite side. Cool. Okay, so it kind of creates like a U. So let's do the same thing to this one. So now we have the bottom and the 2 sides. So now we are going to do the top edges. So they're gonna go out like this and connect the 2 U's together. So we're gonna need one of our elbows, and we're gonna go this way, and then that way. So it's like this. Okay, so now that we got our bottom and our sides assembled, we are going to work on the top. So this is where our canvas and our actual piece of fabric that's going to hold the magazines itself are going to be attached. Instead of busting out my sewing machine and doing all of that, I'm just simply going to hot glue the fabric around the top pipes. It's really easy, and I don't think that there's ever gonna be that much weight inside. So we're gonna put the fabric on the pipe already before putting it and attaching it to our sides. So you just need some canvas or any kind of fabric that you want. How much fabric you need is really dependent on how big you're making your magazine rack. So if you're making it the same size that I am, I did mine 12 inches wide, and then as far as the length, that's what's actually going to hang down in the center. I estimated that I was gonna need about 14 down and 14 up, so that's 28 inches in the center. And I added 2 inches on each side in order to loop around the pipe. We're going to flip this over. An easy trick is to already pre-iron down the edge that is going to be glued or sewn. This makes it super easy, and it creates this clean edge along the bottom. And we're just gonna kind of loop over the pipe to see where we're going to need to glue it. I estimated about 1.5 inches for this. So we're just gonna loop over, and I'm gonna put a little pencil mark right there so that I know that's where I need to glue it, okay? So you can take your pipe away, and we're going to put glue along this entire edge. And with hot glue, you kind of have to act quick, because it's gonna dry. So I'm gonna kind of glue this as fast as possible. Okay. And then loop it over and put it right where that mark was. And then press down. And it creates just a really pretty edge. So we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna do it to the other side. Are gonna use canvas. I do love the way this looks because when you rip canvas instead of cutting it, it creates this really pretty raw edged look, which I really like. You'll see that it frays a little bit, but it's not too much. And I like it a lot better than having a seam. Voila! So we've glued down our sides, we've made little loops for our pipes. So now let's go ahead and put the pipe inside. So we're gonna go ahead and slide our pipe into the hole. Like that. Look how pretty. Right? And it creates a clean edge on this side. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Yay! So 2 inches worked perfectly. So there we go. So this is going to create the U shape inside of our magazine rack. Now let's put this final piece in. So we are going to put this side. Yeah. Looking good so far. And we're gonna do it one more time with the other side. Oh yeah. Oh my God. It's so good! And then our magazines are gonna go right there. So let's go put them in my living room and see what they look like. So we did it. We completed our copper ladder and copper magazine rack home decor DIY. These projects were actually really simple, and I love the way that it looks in my living room. It's exactly what I needed. They're actually a lot larger than I thought they were going to be. The ladder and the magazine rack are bigger, which I love, which I'm not hating. I'm fully okay with. So if you guys like this home decor DIY, give it a thumbs up below. I have some really exciting projects coming up soon, some really creative, I don't know how they're gonna go projects, and some guests that are gonna be joining me as well for a very special DIY series. So I'm really excited about what's to come, and it's almost fall, and that's so crazy, but I'm super excited. It's my favorite time of year. Getting into the holidays, we're gonna have some super fun DIYs that you can do for your home and for with your family, anything and everything that you can think of. I'm super excited about the DIY projects to come, so you're gonna wanna hit the subscribe button below, and I will see you guys next week. Bye guys. Yeah. Oh. Oops. I used to be able to do that in school. Woo! Powered up the hot glue gun. Powered up. Warmed up. I warmed up the hot glue gun. I guess I should have kept the paper. I don't know how it works. Wow.